If technology doesn't return to its previous level of leadership, will we be able to reach new heights? The rest of the S&P 500 will find it difficult to make up for any falls in tech as long as it continues to do well in the market. However, what we have observed thus far, including recent days for Nvidia and Tesla, is that technology is genuinely holding its own, while other equities are beginning to exhibit life and triggers. Yes, but what about the trade expansion? Take a look at the Russell, please. Naturally, your big call hasn't done much at all. It's down more than 1% so far this week. Hey, you have to wait until the Fed cuts. Then you go into the Russell, I kept hearing. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts? Last week was a significant week for the Russell. Although there is now some profit-taking going on, I believe this is how bottoms appear. Bottoms aren't always straight up, in my opinion. I am aware that energy was at its lowest point in 2021 and was erratic, but it finally reached new highs and subsequently saw a huge increase in 2020. Therefore, I believe the Russell will start for a number of years. There is a strong fundamental argument for owning small caps, even though it seems turbulent and we are still close to all-time highs, and you still believe that tiny caps might make a big move since they move quickly, even though you're not necessarily staying with the 50% up. Yes, exactly. Investors should keep in mind, in my opinion, that small cap stocks have been out of style for a while and are notorious for their abnormally strong rises. Over the course of 20 trading days last year, there was a 27% rally. Between now and the end of the year, I believe we may witness something really significant. Perhaps it must happen after Election Day, but I believe I was expecting it would be when the Fed began the easing cycle. However, are small cap fundamentals becoming more robust? Of course. The typical P/E of a Russell 2000 stock is 10.7 times, and merger activity is expected to increase as interest rates decline. That's not demanding, really, especially if we're attempting to be valuation sensitive. Oh well, we'll stop there. Nvidia is expanding on its gains from yesterday. As of right now, its market capitalization is again above $3 trillion. Today is the 2% move. As we just mentioned, Meta is also higher following its Connect conference. Alphabet, Amazon, and Apple are all unavailable today. Aswath Damodaran, the head of valuations at NYU's Stern School of Business, will be joining me shortly to assist in navigating the tech story with earnings just weeks away. It's nice to see you again. Welcome back. Hello, Scott. I'm happy to be back. What do you observe today when you examine the Magnificent Seven multiples? I can tell that everyone wants to work for these companies. However, we have reminded each of these businesses of their weak points throughout the past 3 months. You could see how high the bar had been set for Nvidia's earnings announcement, and what appeared to be a strong result ended up being a letdown. With Apple, we've had 16 upgrades in a row, and I understand why. If one upgrade falls short of expectations, the following one does too. We're still waiting for Google to become the next major company. The search box continues to generate a significant portion of their revenue. Despite their successes, some businesses have shortcomings. Additionally, I believe that in recent months, those weak points have been occasionally emphasized, which explains why on any given day, 2 of them are up and 2 of them are down. That's just how the beast is. However, are you implying that? Let's focus on Nvidia, Apple, and Alphabet in particular, are currently overpriced. I believe that. Let's speak about investing odds instead of overvalued. If investing is a game of odds, the odds are not in your favor with Nvidia due to the high cost. The chances could be equal with Apple. The odds are still in your favor with Alphabet and Meta, in my opinion, because you will benefit from anything these firms are able to do outside of their primary business. Therefore, I consider investment odds rather than cheap or overvalued. Additionally, I believe that Nvidia has the worst odds when it comes to investment. The companies who have, right now, companies that are not in the favored group may have the best chances. It's quite intriguing that, based on what we've heard, you believe Nvidia has the lowest chances. As an investor even, since momentum is key in trading, I would invert the entire situation. It has nothing to do with the foundations or the appearance of the company. The ideal momentum player in either direction is Nvidia. I can understand why Nvidia would be your destination if you were a trader. However, in my opinion, as an investment, Nvidia has the poorest chances. However, I want to talk about it as an investment to make because, 34 times. It's definitely less expensive than it has been. In addition, Jensen Huang has informed us, I don't know, in the last few weeks, of the high demand the business is still experiencing. Based on their installed base, they have what many would argue is not just a first-mover advantage, but actually a moat, similar to what we discuss about Apple. What role does all of that play then? Let me acknowledge all of those. It's a fantastic company pursuing a large market that it will control due to its enormous moats. Reverse engineering from the $3 trillion market cap, however, would require $1 trillion in revenues and 70% margins to be delivered in 10 years. Therefore, even if you believe everything Jensen Huang says and incorporate it, I still struggle to reach $3 trillion. This is a business that, based on its current financials, has to develop rapidly and sustain operating margins of 70% in order to deliver on the sum you have already paid. That's what I mean when I say that the chances are against you when investing. You have priced this business to be the greatest business ever. What's left to gain? It's a letdown if the company is simply outstanding instead of the best. I believe that there will be a back and forth on expectations regarding this. However, in order for the organization to truly meet those numbers, expectations must eventually be revised. Have any of your shares been sold? I made half sales. The degree to which I did it, a year ago, may eventually be due for another half to be sold. However, it looked the most overpriced since the AI boom began because I last valued it immediately following the earnings release. In a way, then, if I were going to sell it, it would have been 3 or 4 months ago when it hit $136. Therefore, I'm keeping an eye on the price. If it causes a significant enough overvaluation, it might be time to sell the other half of whatever I have. Therefore, I'm willing to do it. Well, that's fascinating. Semis, I believe these SOXX was up about 1.3%. For Nvidia, you had a quite successful day. After the close, I think you're receiving fair micron outcomes. Mike, how do you interpret the idea that we care one day and then kind of don't the next? If you want the remainder, let me know.